A decent group here. Let's go ahead and take it away.
All righty. Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday, and welcome to our presentation of the culmination of the 2025 NAHSE Houston Shadowing Pipeline Program featuring C5 or Cohort 5 of the NAHSE Executive Mentorship Program. Before we begin and before introductions, we do want to give you an agenda of what you will expect tonight. We will go through our introduction of our team, which is C5, an overview of the program. We'll go through background and objectives, how we planned and executed the program, the shadowing experience from our mentees' point of view, concluding the program, which includes opportunities for growth and reflections, and then we'll open the floor for Q&A. So before we begin, I would like to open the floor for my colleagues and I to introduce ourselves, and I will kick the mic off to Melanie.
Hi, good evening. My name is Melanie Adams. I am the Associate Director for Patient Access Support Services at MD Anderson, and my mentor was Tashana.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ariana Nettles. I'm the Engagement Associate at Episcopal Health Foundation, and my mentor was Dr. Kai Lang at MD Anderson.
Hello, everybody. My name is Beverly Ntagu. I am the Marketing and Communications Coordinator at Manifest MedX based in California, and my mentor was Kimberly Gilbert.
Good evening. My name is Jalen Robinson. I am currently a DRPH candidate at Walden University, and my mentor was Dr. Boomy Harvey.
Thank you, ladies. And as you can tell, we didn't really go over what our role was in the program because as a team, we worked cohesively together to get these things done. So when we met, we kind of handed off, who will do what, who will do this to make sure that our goals and the deliverables were met. So to give an overview of the program, the NAHSE Houston Shadowing Program is a dynamic initiative designed to expose undergraduate and graduate students to the field of healthcare through direct, hands-on experience. By partnering with established leaders across the greater Houston area, the program offers students a unique opportunity to gain real-world insights into the administrative side of healthcare. As many of us know, us as members of the Cohort 5, and maybe many of you, getting into the healthcare workforce can be really tough. So this program is a bridge to fill that gap for those who are eager, interested, and ready to go, but don't have the opportunities to get to where they need to be professionally. A bit of background, this program is held annually and the program will last for 6 weeks, during which students are matched with manager to executive level preceptors. This experience fosters meaningful mentoring relationships and provides a structured environment for professional development. In addition to enhancing practical knowledge, the program plays a vital role in bridging the gap within the growth healthcare workforce by cultivating the next generation of healthcare leaders. So it's important to have the experience, but it's also important to be mentored and have guidance on how to lead. It's similar to when you have skills or a skill set. It looks good on paper, but until it's applied in real life, it doesn't have the impact that it could have in one's career. We will now go over the objectives. So our cohort, we built off of the previous cohort to expand on what we would think that these students would need in order to develop professionally and get the most out of this program. So we had these 5 pillars. Leadership development, which equips students with firsthand exposure to executive decision-making, project ownership, and team collaboration. The second pillar is industry knowledge and understanding. This helps students gain insight into healthcare systems, regulations, organizational structures, and current industry trends, providing essential context for informed decision-making and effective leadership. The third, as I've been saying these past couple of slides, professional development, which focuses on building essential skills such as communication, time management, and networking, while also fostering career growth through mentorship, feedback, and exposure to industry-specific tools and diverse perspectives. Community impact and outreach. This pillar emphasizes engaging with local populations, promoting health education, and participating in initiatives that address public health needs and improve access to care for underserved communities. And those communities vary depending on who that preceptor is and what company they work for. Each student had a different experience and different impact and outreach in that way. And lastly, project management. This involves planning, executing, and evaluating, projects that enhance operational efficiency, improve patient outcomes, and support organizational goals, all while developing skills in team coordination, budgeting, and timeline management. That is all I have for you right now. I will hand over the mic to my colleague, Melanie.
Okay. So for our planning, we began planning early in the year, right when we were selected for this cohort. We met over a dozen times between March 1st and September 18th. That does not include our numerous group chat texts going back and forth to make sure that we were aligned on the program design and execution. Our first step was building on the previous cohort's standard operating procedures to guide our cohort and to continue the consistency year over year. Not only did we define clear objectives centered around leadership development, but also professional growth and community impact. The team, we structured the program into a 6-week format based off of feedback we had received from cohorts previously, ensuring every student had a meaningful hands-on experience with a healthcare leader. We also built a fair and transparent selection process, setting clear criteria for student eligibility and ranking. And to set expectations early, we outlined roles and responsibilities for both the students and the preceptors and incorporated a project component so we would ensure that they learned in real organizational settings. And to build connection and excitement early on, we organized an in-person mixer, which we'll talk about in a few slides at the start of the program. Next slide. Okay. And for execution, one of our key areas of focus was streamlining the process to improve clarity, consistency, and engagement. We started by updating both the student and preceptor handbooks for our shadowing program. This included setting clear expectations that are outlined for both parties, so the student and the preceptor, so they felt better supported throughout the experience. We also enhanced outreach efforts. We created a new flyer that was visually engaging and easier to distribute across platforms, as in LinkedIn and via email. And to simplify data collection and feedback, we transitioned surveys to Google Forms. This didn't only save time, but also improve the user experience. They could complete it from their phone, and it makes it easier to analyze responses. And lastly, we refreshed and created new email templates to standardize communication, which helped ensure that our messaging was consistent for all of the students, as well as their preceptors, that it was professional and easy to personalize when needed. Altogether, I would say, and I'm sure the rest of the team would agree, that it allowed us to operate more efficiently and deliver a great experience for everyone involved in the program. Next slide. Okay. And just so everyone knows, when our group first got together, we had a very hands-on approach until our students were paired with their preceptor, and then we backed off and had a hands-off approach. We had provided them with clear, concise emails to both the preceptors and students, the handbook that covered as many Q&As as you could imagine, and then also we had an amazing mentorship committee, shout out to our monthly meetings, to guide us through the program. In addition to, we were able to follow up with them via email and LinkedIn. Next slide. Okay, my favorite slide I get to present on. So one of the first things, as I mentioned earlier, we were able to have a meet and greet early in the program right before the 6 weeks started. It was on July 11th at Roots Wine and Bar. We had a student attendee number of 75%. We were only missing one student. And then shout out to Everett for coming, who was our preceptor attendee, who hung out with everyone. And the goal of this was not only to kick off the shadowing program, but create the opportunity for the students and preceptors to meet in person, especially since once the program started, they wouldn't be seeing each other very frequently. All of the cohort 5 members took a section from our standard operating procedure and reviewed it with everyone there, so everyone was on the same page with the expectations of the program. All right.
Okay, I'll take over now. So I'll go into more detail about the shadowing experience from the feedback we got from each student. Each student had to have a deliverable at the end of their experience. So they all submitted slides and videos, just explaining in detail what they experienced with their preceptors and what their projects consisted of. So you can go to the next slide. Our first student was Maya. So she shadowed with Nordic Global's senior director, Everett Hayes. And in her shadowing experience, she gained insight into leadership and healthcare consulting. She was able to research internal consulting tools with a focus on revenue cycle analytics platform. She also shared that she learned how these platforms integrated, data from EHRs, billing, and claims to improve operational efficiency. Maya was able to observe how consulting leaders balance the client relationship. She also was able to observe their strategies they use and also how they manage their teams. And one, I guess, big takeaway that she got from her experience was that it strengthened her understanding of the intersection between financial analytics and healthcare operations. And here's her video that she shared with us, her testimonial.
So through the NAHSE shadowing pipeline, I had the opportunity to work under Everett Hayes, who's the senior director at Nordic Global. And through this experience, I gained valuable insight into leadership in healthcare consulting and how internal tools like revenue cycle analytics platforms can transform efficiency by connecting data across EHRs, billing, and claims. And one of the most impactful parts of this program was the professional development advice I received from Everett. He coached me on navigating workplace conflict, managing a difficult manager, and how to be an effective leader in internal meetings. And those lessons in conflict resolution and communication will stay with me throughout my career. Overall, the program strengthened my commitment to moving into operations-focused healthcare roles, and it gave me both technical exposure and leadership guidance that I know will shape the way I contribute to healthcare systems moving forward.
Our next student was Hanan. She also completed 2 projects with Nordic Global, also under the mentorship of Everett Hayes. Some of her takeaways from her project, she was able to participate in accounts receivable firm strategy. So she was able to evaluate Nordic's potential partnerships, such as white label, co-sale, pass-through, and she was able to present ROI and pilot recommendations. Another aspect of her project was the Rural Health Council formation. So she was able to research different streams of funding from HRSA, USDA, SAMHSA, and able to propose various governance structure to support healthcare formation in rural communities. And overall, her takeaway was that she gained exposure to executive level decision making, strategic planning, and how consulting firms structure partnerships to create value. And here is Hanan's testimonial video.
Hi everyone, my name is Hanan Hassan, and During my NAHSE executive shadowing program, I had the opportunity to work on 2 projects with my mentor, Everett Hayes. The first one focused on accounts receivable firm strategy, where I compared models like pass-through selling, co-selling, white labeling, to create a mutually beneficial partnership with Nordic Global. And the second project involved designing a framework for rural health council formation, where I was able to source potential funding as well as create a governance structure for the council. My role was to research, analyze, as well as present recommendations to Everett that could help its partnership with Nordic as well as formation of council. These projects definitely gave me insight on how strategic partnerships and organizational planning directly impact healthcare delivery. My biggest takeaway was learning how executives use structured analysis for decision making and how funding drives access to everything in healthcare, as well as how consulting plays a key role in shaping the future of healthcare today. Thank you.
Our next student was Jamila. Jamila had the privilege of shadowing Dr. Gianna White. She's the interim chief of medical services with the Houston Health Department. Jamila was able to work on several projects, in her words, that strengthened her understanding of public health operations. So she was able to curate and analyze evaluation surveys from heat advisory town hall meetings, generate insights into community needs and future engagement strategies. Jamila also contributed to the pharmacy program planning and developed a policy review tracking spreadsheet to improve accountability and efficiency. And during her shadowing program, she was able to complete the Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt certification, and that has allowed her to apply process improvement methods directly with the Department of Health. And here's her testimony video as well.
If you're interested in making healthcare your career, you should definitely consider joining a professional. If you're interested in making healthcare your career, you should definitely consider joining a professional organization like NAHSE. This summer, I had the amazing opportunity to be a part of the NAHSE Summer Shadowing Cohort, where I was placed with the Houston Health Department under the Chief of Medical Services. During my time there, I got to sit down with senior executives, learn about their journeys into public health, and see firsthand how leadership transitions work. The projects I worked on was curating an evaluation for the Heat Advisory Town Hall, summarize those key findings, and provide actionable feedback for future public health initiatives. And overall, NAHSE and the Houston Health Department gave me the tools, exposure, and confidence to continue pursuing my path in healthcare leadership. A major thank you to all involved, and stay tuned for what's next.
The last student that was in the shadowing program was Yusra. She shadowed under Dr. Ursula who is the Director of Pharmacy Services at Memorial Hermann. She worked on a project to help identify new revenue opportunities for the inpatient pharmacy department. She gave us a lot of information in her presentation, but she said that her business proposal focused on 3 key areas, first of which was expanding medication therapy management services to formally bill for pharmacists' clinical work. The second area was partnering with the pharmacy benefit manager to improve billing processes and enhance revenue capture. And the third area was involved implementing incident to billing, where pharmacy services under physician supervision are billed using standard CPT codes. She gave us an overview of the different people that she shadowed. For example, she shadowed a pharmacy technician and learned about important tools and procedures. She included pictures of the Cactus Smart Sink, which is a disposal tool. And then she also submitted pictures of the pneumatic tube system, which was just showing how medication is transported throughout the hospital. And then she mentioned that she was able to attend an all-staff leadership meeting led by the hospital CEO, and she attended other executive meetings. She shadowed senior leadership such as the manager of operations, the COO, and some other important leadership as well. So she had a very comprehensive experience. She didn't send us a video, but based off her presentation, we know that the shadowing program was very impactful. So this next section is about the conclusion of the program. You can go to the next slide. We did a social wrap-up event on September 12th at Wooster's Garden. This was basically to conclude the program and create an opportunity for students to connect, reflect on their shadowing experiences, and socialize with us at C5 and other fellow participants. Hanan was the only one that was able to make it, but we still had a good time, okay? She gave us another follow-up about how the program was beneficial. Her time with Everett basically said it was an impactful program. And she also said that being part of the shadowing helped her think about her future career path. So now she's thinking about shifting it a little bit based off of the things that she learned at Nordic with Everett. This last piece right here is talking about the evaluation survey that we sent to the preceptors. So in Melanie's earlier slide, she showed a screenshot of the check-ins, which were like the Google form that we sent to students. We sent 2 of them to get their feedback. And so we wanted to wrap up by also sending a Google form to the preceptors as well to get their feedback on the program overall. And we wanted to assess what worked well, opportunities for improvement, and lastly, what strategies could help the next cohort in carrying on this work. So that screenshot on the right is basically just showing the questions that we asked them, keeping it short and simple to get feedback from the preceptors.
So to go over a couple of reflections as we wrapped up the program. So for the shadowing program, overall, it was a great opportunity to connect with aspiring health leaders and already established leaders in the Houston area, and those are from the students who participated. There was clarity achieved for students like Hanan on how they want to progress in their career moving forward, and all participating students gave positive feedback and believed the program left a meaningful impact on them. Feedback and reflections from our team: amazing team chemistry. We had a great balance of responsibility and understanding of what was needed to accomplish the goal of the program. And we had very productive meetings, meaningful conversations. And of course, as we've been able to work together over the past few months, we built a relationship with each other, checking in to make sure that we're good outside of work, figuring out how we can help each other grow in our own careers and how we can allow our networks to continue to mesh together.
You're muted, Melanie.
Was I doing opportunities for growth?
I see you talking, Melanie. We just can't hear you. It seems like the mic disconnected. Still can't hear you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Jalen.
Okay. I'll just do the last slide. So we wanted to identify some opportunities for growth within the shadowing program. Just some ideas that the next committee can use, the next cohort can use, just from our experience. And the first was increasing communication with preceptors before and during the program. I think as a collective, we thought that would enhance initial recruitment. Also work on minimizing attrition of student participation in in-person events, challenging our students to participate in NAHSE outside of the shadowing pipeline program. We have a lot of events, and I think it would be all of us think that it would be a great idea for them to participate outside of their projects. Also, creating opportunities to connect with surrounding college campuses to recruit preceptors. We reached out to a few. I know we reached out to U of H and TSU, but we were thinking maybe in the future, like even spreading as far as PV. And also create an opportunity to wrap up the program with the preceptors included. So at this time, I guess we'll open the floor for any questions, any Q&A that you all have.
I have a question, and this was a really great presentation. Thank you guys for putting this together. And this is open to anyone. Were there anything that surprised you guys or that you learned unexpectedly during this process about maybe, ways that you wanted to grow in your career that you might think of differently now or that you like more? Just any surprises during this process?
I think I would say there's power in LinkedIn. We did have a student that really wanted to participate in the program, but life happens to all of us, and we didn't really have her phone number, or an email wasn't really working. So LinkedIn was our source of communication for her. And it really just showed me that LinkedIn is a platform that is not only for connecting with people and posting, but really outreaching and following up and continuing to essentially put yourself out there when it comes to growth. So I think that's one thing that really stood out to me in this program or in this experience that is very beneficial moving forward.
I probably add that in the beginning, just the foundation that we had to work with, a lot of what you see now, the four of us kind of built together. And so I think that I learned, for one, you don't always have to have everything laid out for you for something of this magnitude to come into fruition. So it was definitely a hurdle, but it was a great learning opportunity for us all, and I appreciate it.
I actually want to build off of that because I was going to say something completely different, but you have a point. So let's go back to your point. The fact, I think one thing that shocked me, kind of what was briefly mentioned in the presentation, like we would get on a meeting, and at first it would start off as just the bones or like the idea of what we're going to do. And then we would sit there and be like, actually, let's do this right now. And then we would just literally just start building off of something and get something done in a matter of an hour and a half or so. And I think I'm just thankful that I was paired with other people in this cohort who like we meshed well together and was ready to like just go ahead and do the work, take initiative. So that definitely shocked me because I'm like, we sitting here planning, not knowing how this is going to go. And then by the end of the call, we have an actual product that's going to move us to the next step. So we progressed very well and worked really well together. And that's also why you didn't see roles on the slides, because when somebody didn't have time for something, somebody else would pick it up. If somebody had a question, was confused, or needed to step back, somebody else would step forward. So we kind of filled in for each other when needed. And like, it was just great. It was amazing.
It's giving a new light on what leadership truly is, and leadership is collaboration. There wasn't just one person that took off with this project. We worked so well together, and that has like definitely shifted my view on leadership. It doesn't have to be a leader and followers. I see how each one of us has strengths that we were able to bring forth to help each other. So I love this cohort.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was trying to tell Ariana, I was like, I am not muted. We had just talked about it before. She was like, I can't stand when someone talks and they're muted. It I don't know what happened, but I switched over to my phone. So I would also echo that. I feel like I learned more about our group than like the putting the program together was fine. That's something that, I was familiar with in my past in various roles that I've done. But I think that I'll always be very close and in contact with these other ladies. So that was awesome.
That is so sweet. Wow.
That's what I said, Tamar. I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
Right,
Oh,
Jared.
hi, ladies. Phenomenal, great presentation. It's been a pleasure, getting to know all of you during this cohort. Have a question for you. You guys were kind of one of the first cohorts where we did the, CEO with a side of espresso, and even, being invited to our summer kickback. So just wanted to know I guess my question is, were there any type of, could the chapter have supported you more? I guess, was there anything that you would have wanted more from the chapter, just, I guess, going forward, how can we offer more support to the mentorship cohorts and also your project? Was there anything else that we could do as a chapter to make things better for you all?
Mm.
I didn't mean to. Had
I was
already
gonna say,
think
listen, we're
about
gonna have to
it.
marinate. We're gonna have to marinate.
Okay.
How many participants were in the last cohort?
It was 12 almost.
12. I think it would
It
have been fun
fluctuated.
to get with them like a official kind of like cohort handoff, you know, because we were responsible for building on the bones that were already there. So I think that would have been fun to kind of talk about areas that they ran into that they might have been surprised about, what they were most excited about accomplishing but maybe didn't have time, so we could see that through, something like that.
Okay.
That's definitely something to consider for us in the next handoff for the co-chairs.
Oh, one other thing I would say is there are certain organizations that I know we had people that wanted to be preceptors, but they couldn't with the requirements from their institution or organization. So I don't know if maybe like as January comes around, it can start being announced. Like if you plan to be a preceptor, the next cohort will reach out to you, but you have to start planning now to get an approval because that was rough. We even started earlier than the cohort before. That was really, really tough. That limited us.
Great point, and I loved you guys' presentation. This was amazing. Like, wow, in general, you guys did a great job. And I think that brings me to one of the questions that I had. Also love the SOPs and just kind of that you guys reviewed it with the mentees, not the mentees, excuse me. You reviewed it with them to kind of clarify what the expectations and offerings were. I also love that you like just the key takeaways and the connection between the connections that were gained with some of the attendees. But my question primarily is, how long did it take you guys to actually get the preceptors, like their clearance for those that were shadowing them? So from when you guys started to when they actually got their clearance, and is that included in the SOPs?
That's included in our SOPs, right?
It is included in the SOP. I was trying to find in like our SOP, we actually had specific dates of when the preceptors were notified and then when they needed to have their clearance from the organization that they're working at. cannot remember the dates off the top of my head, but I really think it was like 4 weeks. I feel like it was 4 weeks around that time frame. But there were some people, I believe, like at HCA or there was somewhere else, and it was really difficult getting them in, especially with like physician residents starting in July. It was kind of tough, but I think we gave them 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and another
Was it
hurdle,
Memorial Herman that y'all were having an issue with?
I think so. And another hurdle that we faced was, I think, just the verbiage. When they hear preceptor, that's typically connected to a university, and a lot of them express that. So I think the verbiage of them being a preceptor kind of made it finicky when it came to, abiding by specific, I guess, by laws or however they do with their organizations. So maybe like changing the verbiage of like what we actually call our preceptors in the future.
Yeah, I think even adding on to that, to Jalen's point, the weight of that name, I think the capacity that they had, some of them weren't as open or excited because they wanted to help, but their bandwidth wasn't large enough to accompany another student on top of their workload. And then to add to Melanie, we did recruitment from April 1st to May 12th, and then we gave ourselves a month to assign students to preceptors. And that allowed us to cover attrition because we had to follow up on LinkedIn as well, to reach out to those who were interested, but maybe did not reply to email or fell off over the course of those 4 weeks. LinkedIn really helped us follow through to get a yes, a no, to get a new email, to get a work email, to get someone to communicate with on next steps.
This is Tashana. Fantastic job, ladies. I was so excited to see the project come to completion. Melanie and I talked about it several times during our mentoring sessions. My question for you all is really more around application. So what's one lesson that you learned from the project that you have been able to apply in your day-to-day work?
As someone who loves to write to-do lists and write her things down in Word and write it down, it's okay to digitize these things. It's okay to use a survey and a form to make life a lot easier. I think the dopamine that comes to my mind when I check things off feels good, but it's more efficient to put into a platform that can do it for me.
I think we, as a group, we almost over prepared for the inevitables, but they still happen. So I think going forward, and we still got through it. Even when we met those specific hurdles, like we weren't able to get in touch with certain preceptors, or we selected students and they weren't able to participate, or maybe I may have made a mistake and overextended to a student because I thought a student dropped off and that didn't end up coming into fruition. But I think just planning for those humps has taught me in my career, like going forward in my career, that those hurdles will present themselves, but there's always, an alternative route to get to the goal.
That was such a good question. I'm thinking, I would say no matter throughout the program, the students, all of us from the cohort, we are in different phases of life, our careers. But I can say that, I learned from each and every person, from, the preceptor I met, the students I met, the other people in the group. So I think that, always having an open ear and a willingness to learn from those that are in different spaces of their life.
Now y'all got it to where I have to say something, and that was.
I'm sorry.
Um, I don't know. I think my response would be, I don't want to copy what other people said. I would just say, I don't want to say it. I'm lying to you. Fine, I'll repeat it because we can't sit here all night. I'll repeat it. It's fine. I was gonna say being able to pivot, because like Jalen said, like things come up, things happen. Some people can participate, some people can't. I think it's like we were given enough time, but like the pre-planning felt like it went by kind of fast. Like, I don't know. It's like we knew the time, we set up a timeline, we set up bulleted details of what was gonna happen in each phase or quarter or whatever. And still, as we were going through it, it felt like, dang, we're running out of time to get to the next phase of the project. So I feel like reiterating that the being able to pivot definitely is something that I would say for me to apply. Aaliyah, see her hand up.
See a few hands up. Tashana and Lady, any questions?
Oh, let me put my hand down. Sorry.
While we're in this quiet moment, I just would like to make one suggestion. Well, actually, I'll say that for later. Never mind. We're talking about the actual shadowing program.
No, go ahead, Jalen.
Well, I was just saying, outside of our shadowing program, because we have mentors that have, carried us along this journey. I think just having them a little more involved in this process would be beneficial, especially like in those monthly meetings, because they may have feedback from that leadership perspective that could be beneficial to the group. And I think it would be beneficial, especially in our steering meetings, having that perspective from leadership that we can take back to the students and the future preceptors, what the next cohort can do. So that was just my one thing.
That's great feedback. 100%. Thank you for sharing that. So before we wrap up or conclude, are there any more questions from anybody regarding the great presentation from the great Cohort 5?
Good evening. I'll just make a quick comment. So I absolutely love the presentation, just the flow of it, the professionalism, the storytelling with the video is so creative, and I think I'm gonna try and steal it. Actually, I just learned CapCut, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try a little bit. But y'all did a fabulous job. I have so many questions, but the one I want to kind of piggyback, where we're just talking about feedback, and I think feedback is so important. If you could think about feedback among your group with each other, what's one thing that you would tell each other that really stood out, positive, of course, that you would offer that other person? What comes to mind?
Well, Beverly is the most organized person I have ever met in my life. As far as like when we have our meetings and we're just kind of like snowballing all these ideas at once. At the end of the meeting, Beverly has a template and she has every single bullet point of what we've all talked about, the most important points. Things that I may have forgot that I said, she has it written down. So I wish I was that type of note taker, but that is what I'm going to miss most about having Beverly in my corner on a weekly basis, is being my personal note taker, because I need that. And so I definitely learned that from Beverly, and I appreciate it.
I'll go. I was gonna say Melanie has a need for speed. If we say we need that Google form, look at the question. Enter the form done. Can y'all preview it? Can we go ahead and send it? Girl, we just talked about this. How you? So I appreciate her speed, her efficiency, and her even in that speed and efficiency, double checking with us, letting us review it, having a great process. So shout out to Zoom over there.
Zoom, I like that. When Kai asked this question, I immediately came off mute. A lot of people on the call don't know, but I had a series of events happening in the summertime, and it was like right in the heat of the program. And when I tell you these three ladies carried me through the whole thing. Um, there were times where I was like, I don't have the bandwidth, I don't have the time for this. And when I tell you they stepped up, they stepped up. They even sent me this cute little care package. I still use it for my tea and coffee every day. But I hope y'all never lose that. And I know that you will always make a light when someone looks back at, a dark time that they had. So I always remember that.
Oh, we love you. I would say for Jalen and Ariana, Jalen first. Jalen is very inquisitive. Like she asks really good questions. We might be going and we've had the whole meeting. Jalen's like, well, actually, what about this? And it makes us all take a step back and think about how to do things differently that we may have done normally in our work life or in our school life. Like she challenges us to think outside the box. And Ariana is detail oriented. Okay. The plan could be done. She going, wait a minute, excuse me, that right there doesn't make sense. Let's actually go back, take a step back, reevaluate before we move forward. So I think that both of those really kept the group grounded and going. And like they've been saying, like, I really love these ladies and we really locked in. So thank you, steering committee, because y'all chose really well and we appreciate that.
Thank you. And thanks for going through the process. I know we just have about another 5 more minutes, but I would challenge you to keep that art of giving feedback. It's not a common thing to do, but being intentional to give each other feedback along the way, that really reinforces the team dynamic as you go through your career. Good job.
Well, my end is a bit noisy, so I'm not going to take much of the time. I just want to say kudos to the team. Great job, phenomenal work. And definitely, I'm always happy to say thank you and great job to Tamar and Miles for doing an amazing job. I appreciate you all. And then, of course, to our amazing mentors, we appreciate you. This would have not happened without you. So we appreciate your time, your sacrifice, you pouring into them, and the beautiful product that we're having. And definitely, last but not least, I'm looking forward to having 4 of you on the executive board soon. The future is not that far away.
Okay, awesome. So, just one last thing. I know we have, okay, now 7 minutes left. You introduce yourselves, but we often don't get time to plug and connect each other. So just let us one by one, the 4 of you, where can we find you, what you're doing, what's next for you, and just kind of give us a little salute off, for the program.
Okay. My name is Beverly Intagu. You can find me on LinkedIn, Beverly K. Intagu. Moving forward, I'm looking to get into healthcare operations. I really love the operations and behind the scenes work. I also have a podcast on vulnerability and just speaking to how the Lord talks to me. So you can find me there. I'm also a fitness advocate. So LinkedIn, Instagram at Bev Speaks. And that's all I really have. Email beverlykintagu@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm Jalen Robinson. You can find me on LinkedIn, JALYN. Um, I am looking to continue my public health career. I enjoy diving off into public health data analytics, but I really have a passion for community outreach. So trying to find the intersection of both of those. And I actually have like a small newsletter. It's nothing big, but it's called Public Health Made Simple for You, where I just post public health facts that I find interesting, and I put them in the lamest terms that so that my granny can understand it and my 5-year-old cousin can understand what's going on in her community. So that's important to me. And yes, you can also find me at jalenrobinson12@gmail.com.
I love how we're plugging Gmails like the early 2000s or something. But
You got to, man. You got to.
well, but let me start with that because that's crazy. My Gmail is ariana.net at Gmail. My full first name dot half of my last name at Gmail. My LinkedIn is my full name, Ariana Nettles. I'm still in the early careers phase, so I'm already blessed to be in the position that I'm in. So for right now, I'm gonna be satisfied with that. My project management position that I have at Episcopal Health Foundation. I kind of want to stay on the project management track. Kind of interested in consulting, but I've heard hot and cold about that, so we're just gonna let that float around over here. But I just hope to keep progressing forward on that management/project management track, whether it's still extending in my current job, like or the philanthropy space, or if that means pivoting into like a health or public health nonprofit. I just want to keep building on that project management experience. And I'm going to not rush the process because like I said, I'm already blessed to be where I'm at this age, which many people don't get the opportunity to be where I'm at this age. So I'm going to just be grateful and trust the process. And as opportunities come, if it aligns, I'll take it.
Awesome. I guess I'm last. So I don't have a LinkedIn. I paused it. Where can you reach me? My cell phone. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. What's next for me? I started a consulting company, Adams and Co. Consulting. It is for education and navigating the healthcare space. So it's really my background. I just finished up my first nursing clinical group, so with UTMB. So I'll probably continue that next semester as well. And then hopefully I'll be a preceptor in the next cohort. And that's all.
And that's all is crazy, but go ahead.
Hi, y'all. I know there's only a couple of minutes left, but I just want to say congratulations. Y'all are amazing. And y'all have inspired me so much. Like, I have learned something from each of y'all, and y'all are truly amazing. I cannot wait to see where your careers go and all the fun and amazing things that are in your path. And we'll be talking more about next year. I'm going to get into contact with y'all. But for now, amazing. I'm so proud. I just can't say that enough. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for this year.
Thank you all.
And that's it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I'm awesome.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you. We did
it. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.